Well, for more on this story, I'm joined by Republican Senator Richard Black. Senator, you're very welcome to the programme. First of all, on Syria, what does the election mean for the country? Can Donald Trump change anything there?
Well, first of all, I must share this headline with you. I think you will appreciate this. Donald Trump has won a resounding victory, and so I want to tell you what it means for the Middle East and particularly for Syria. I have met many of the foreign policy people who surround Donald Trump. They are very pro-Syria and very anti-terrorist. So I cannot overstate the importance of this election to the war in Syria. It is going to dramatically shift the American position, because as you know, for years we have been supplying anti-tank missiles and all sorts of weapons to the terrorists, to al-Nusra, to sometimes to ISIS, to the entire array, al-Zinki, Jaish al-Islam, Ahrar al-Sham, all of these terrorist organizations who are mostly comprised of foreigners, mercenaries who have been brought in to fight against the Syrian people. You are going to see such a dramatic change. I cannot express to you the drama of this. This is perhaps the greatest single defeat for the terrorists since the war began. It will be absolutely astounding.
As a follow-on to that, Senator, how is this going to change America's relationship with Russia, do you think?
Well, it's going to be a dramatic change with Russia. You know, I'm a military man. I spent a career, 32 years in the military. And I know how wars are prepared, and they don't just happen in an instant. They're built up over a period sometimes of years. And there was a movement towards World War III with Russia. The United States will find common ground with President Vladimir Putin. He was the first of all of the world's leaders to come out and to congratulate Donald Trump. And I think the two of them will work magnificently together, because Russia understands the threat of global terrorism better than perhaps any of the countries fighting. I mean, obviously, except for Syria and places like that. But I think you will find a growing alliance between the United States and Russia. And I know a number of the foreign policy advisors for President Trump and President-elect Trump. And they see the Syrian war through the same eyes that I see it. They understand that Syria is led by President Bashar al-Assad, who is the legitimate elected leader of Syria, who has probably 80%, maybe 90% of the support of the Syrian people. And not one rebel has ever emerged as a popular figure. They're all viewed as terrorists. The Syrian people hate them. They want the war to end, but they hate the terrorists. And so I cannot overstate the victory that this represents for Syria, and also the victory that it represents for Russia. President Trump, he likes President Putin, and I think he wants to see smooth, cooperative relations with Russia, and I think we're going to see them. I really do.
One of the interesting aspects of President-elect Trump becoming president will be the remarks said by other politicians in Europe and abroad. They were quite critical of him beforehand, and now they're seemingly changing their tone. How will he approach those who have been critical of him? And as an aside to that, which areas, which countries do you think are now going to be key for a President Trump?
Well, the amazing thing about President Trump is that he will assume office, and unlike any president in my lifetime, he owes nothing to the Republican establishment, to the global oligarchs who rule the world, to the European Union, to NATO, to all of these globalist forces. He doesn't owe them anything. He doesn't owe anything to the Wall Street bankers. He doesn't owe anything to the CEOs of major corporations. The only people he really owes things to are ordinary people. He's got a handful of political figures like myself who have supported him from the outset. And so it's a totally different dynamic. And instead of seeing him immediately pulled into the globalist orbit, you're going to see him set his own course in world affairs. And I think that is tremendous for world peace. He will be someone, he's not going to be interested in regime change, overthrowing Libya, Syria, Egypt, Yemen, all of these other places. Hillary Clinton, she was bought and paid for by Saudi Arabia. And through the Clinton Foundation, whatever they said was what she was going to do. And she traded on her power as the Secretary of State, basically sent American troops off as mercenaries to fight for the Saudi Arabians and for some of these other people. That is going to be finished. And I got an email today that mentioned that that there was an email from a very prominent Saudi Arabian, a millionaire, Al-Walid bin Talal, and he's been a big supporter of the Muslim Brotherhood. And he wrote a tweet and he said, Donald Trump, you are a disgrace not only to the GOP, but to all America. Withdraw from the U.S. presidential race as if you will ever win. Well, I've got to tell you, Mr. Al-Walid bin Talal, you are on the losing side, and I don't think that you're going to see this tremendously cozy relationship with Saudi Arabia. It's not that we won't get along with countries that we've gotten along with before, but you're going to see a shift, and countries that have been put upon, like Russia, like Syria, all of a sudden they're going to hopefully rejoin the nations that are successful on this planet.
If I can just ask you this finally, Trump suggested early in his campaign he will take bold action to eliminate ISIL. What do you see this entailing?
Well, part of defeating ISIS is defeating al-Nusra. And I think what you're going to see, you're going to see a cutoff of weapons from the United States to all of the terrorists. I think you'll continue to see the action in Mosul. I think we'll continue the attack on Mosul to destroy ISIL. But I think it's going to be broader. When he says ISIS, I think he's really referring to the whole group of terrorist organizations. Now, you and I know the names of them, but to him it's just ISIS, which makes sense because, as you know, and as all Syrian people know, and most Russian people know, they're all the same. These are all terrorists. They're paid, they behead people. They sell people into slavery. They rape people. They use poison gas against the people. These are the people that we have been struggling against, and the mainstream media has totally censored our voices. I think now we're going to have a big voice, and he's going to be in the White House.
We have been speaking to Dick Black, Republican Senator for Virginia. We appreciate your time and thoughts on all those matters we discussed. Thank you, sir.